Here's the Mission Impossible burger.
Texture-wise, that extra slice was needed.
I give it a rating, texture-wise, an 8, and taste a 9. This is gonna be tough to beat.
Because it gives the runnier potato more of a silky texture.
So I felt obligated to intertwine some Jason Genova clips into there because I had this feeling watching this Fatty Disaster Thanksgiving cooking video that he posted, and it made me reminisce about the times when Jason Genova would make the worst food reviews of all time, and I thought, as a time of giving, I would give that back to you. If you never watched the Genova verse, then you're welcome. Either way, Fatty today is going to make a traditional, in air quotes, Thanksgiving meal that can be consumed and loved by all. And we're also going to say goodbye to a beloved friend of the Fattyverse. And I want to address one thing. There have been a couple people asking throughout the past couple weeks as to like where Fatty content is. Why am I not talking about Fatty? And part of it is because Fatty just really doesn't post anything worthwhile anymore. You know, it was fun when he was doing the Fatty Shack for a while because it's like there's just a treasure trove of content involved with that. But he's been doing a lot of like lightsaber videos and stuff, and it's like I feel like he really didn't optimize his time with Robert when Robert was there. But hey, it happens. It's no big deal. We're gonna enjoy this time of giving, this delicious meal that Fatty has just slaved over for hours. Let's get into it.
It feels good to have my bro back in my
Yeah,
life.
feels good to be back.
You need to hit me up when you get back, alright?
Yeah, we'll do.
You make sure you get home safe.
I'll probably hit you up when I land in Orlando before I board the. Well, I've got 7 hours in Orlando, so.
Just, yeah, man, take it easy, alright?
Yeah.
That's right. I alluded to it in the intro, but Robert's gone. He's going somewhere. And I'm kind of confused about Robert's living situation because I think he was hanging out with Fatty for like a month, basically. And now he's flying to Orlando where he has a layover. So I'm assuming he doesn't live in Pennsylvania anymore. I don't know where he's going. You know, I don't keep up with him a lot. I saw some people post some pretty gross allegations against Robert, so I'm not gonna really extrapolate on it. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm gonna let bygones be bygones in that respect until I actually look into it. But it's quite confusing to me because he's flying from Maine to Florida, and that's his layover area, which is really odd. It's like you couldn't get a connection flight in like Atlanta. You couldn't get a connection flight like if you're going west. It'd be weird because it's like maybe he is going to Pennsylvania, but he has to fly all the way to Orlando. And it was probably because Fatty had to find the cheapest flight possible and probably booked it like 3 months in advance. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you have like a 18-hour layover. And you're also flying like 8 hours when you only need to fly 2. So who knows? I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a plane expert, you know. So I'll let them figure that out, but if anybody actually knows where Robert's going off to, comment down below.
What are you thankful for? I'm gonna be honest, I'm thankful for just being alive, honestly. And not only that, but thankful for you guys. Seriously, you guys have helped me out a lot over the years, and it's each year I say I'm thankful, but like, it's really true. You guys have brought me an opportunity in life that a lot of people would dream of.
Not to piggyback off of Fatty here, but I'm going to anyway. I'm also very grateful for everybody who watches my videos, who comments on my videos, who interacts with everybody, leaves their opinions, even the people who hate watch me. I'm appreciative for all of you because this year I never really expected my channel to blow up. I don't even want to say it's a blow up because it's only, you know, it's still relatively small comparatively, but I'm grateful. I never thought it would get this far. I was just going to do it because I was already watching all this locale content, and I'm a very opinionated person, in case you haven't been able to tell. I also love to talk. So when those two things molded together, I just had to make videos about it. And yeah, so I'm grateful for all your support. I'm grateful for plenty of other things, but you know, you're giving me the opportunity to make a couple bucks on the side and also talk about stuff that I find interesting. So that's pretty cool. And I can't really repay you too much in other ways other than just making content that you guys all enjoy. So thank you very much.
I might add a little extra water to this so it's not too dry. I'm going to toss this in, shall we? Wish me luck. Hopefully I make this stuffing for the first time the right way. Feels like this shouldn't be that hard. But I mean, as anyone will tell you, hardness is but a thing of perception. It gets all fluffed up like that. And let me tell you something. That is looking nice. Now as this cools down, it's going to fluff.
This might be a controversial opinion, but I don't understand people that don't like stuffing. And I got some critiques for his stuffing, right? First off, you have to have celery in it. If you're not having celery in the stuffing, you're not doing it right. You need that crunch factor that's mixed into the stuffing. And secondly, I don't know, this is a new thing that my extended family has begun doing, but we're putting Italian sausage in the stuffing. Ooh, just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. And it gives you that nice meaty flavor that mixes with the breading flavor. Ooh, it's so good. And even this year, now this is something the jury's still out on it, but we began putting raisins in it. And I actually think it's not that bad of a combination because it adds a sweetness flavor to it. It's not terrible. And Fatty, obviously, he's not a huge fan of stuffing, but I'm at least proud of him for trying it. I know it's controversial. Some people don't think it belongs. I mean, my biggest controversial opinion is probably that I don't think mac and cheese belongs at Thanksgiving. I just don't. I know it's a very big Southern thing, but I just don't get it. It just doesn't make sense with the type of other flavors that are going on in the meals. It just doesn't make sense to me. That's okay. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. But I think we can all say, if you like stuffing, you have to have celery. That's part of it. He doesn't do that. He skips right over that. We're moving past it.
This stuffing, we're going to put it in that. So let's do it. Oh, it's still hot. Ouch. Oh, fuck. Ah! Oh, shit. Fuck. Ah! That was still hot. And that hurt like a motherfucker. That's burnt my whole fucking hand.
Fatty is the biggest baby on earth. It's quite aggravating to listen to him throughout this video. He just like hyperbolizes everything, and it's kind of annoying. But also it's like, how regarded do you have to be to put stuffing on a stovetop with boiling water, mix it together, probably leave it there, and then immediately take out the turkey, put it in a pan, and then use your unclean, unsanitary, poopy butt hands to scoop out the stuffing and put it into the turkey? I mean, come on. And I'm supposed to sit here and be like, wow, I feel bad for Fatty. No, I'm going to sit here and laugh and say, hey, maybe use a spoon next time. Maybe use some sort of utensil that you can scoop it out and put it in there. Maybe wait 10 minutes for it to cool down before you try and transfer it. Nah, I gotta scoop out the hot stuffing with my bare hands and then cry and complain that, oh, it's still hot. It's burning my hand. It's like, come on. We can't be doing this out here. We gotta be less regarded coming into the 2024 year, Fatty. I mean, I can't be lambasting you for this type of stuff still. And it's also, I just want to note, should probably get rid of that blood, the turkey juice that's hanging out in the bottom of the pan. Probably don't want that to be cooking in there as well.
Some nice, fluffy, not runny, totally delicious mashed potatoes are made. I'm gonna put the top on this, put it in the fridge for later, once the pot cools down.
I'm also gonna go out on a limb and say I cannot stand people that use instant mashed potatoes. Can't stand it. Because you're not even saving that much money by getting instant mashed potatoes versus like a pound of potatoes. You're really not saving that much. You're saving some time, I guess, but making mashed potatoes is really, the hardest part of it is just taking the time to do it. You have to boil the potatoes, you gotta mash them. I mean, it's the complexity is not very hard. It's also right up Fatty's alley because it's like, well, it's a potato, you love potatoes, and you can put as much butter and salt and GMOs and MSGs and whatever other toxic pesticide chemicals in there that you want, and you get to say, hey, I made potatoes for myself. But no, we're gonna go cheap route. We're gonna use the box potatoes, and if it's a staple in your household, I'm telling you, just take the extra 45 minutes to an hour to actually make mashed potatoes. They're so much better.
You're gonna need some beef stew. Now, I don't have time to cook right now, full-on beef stew, so we got canned beef stew. And you're gonna need some sort of pot or pan. I only have 2 pots right now, and one's too small to do this, so we'll use this. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so we're gonna take our beef stew and plop it in. So it's, look at that. This is gonna be tasty. I'm not in a position, you guys, so we drop it in. Tiny bit in there as we put it right in there. And now we're gonna give her a good old-fashioned stir.
I mean, you literally cannot escape corn from a fatty recipe. You just can't. I'm also, I mean, maybe I'm biased. I'm not a big corn guy, so I'll put that out on the table. I'm throwing a lot of hot takes out there about Thanksgiving right now, and it might come to bite me. But I also love that Fatty's here saying, yeah, I don't have time to make beef stew. What do you mean you don't have time to make beef stew? You literally don't have anything else to do. It's like, and that's part of the aggravating part is a lot of these locals will say things like that, like, oh, DSP says it all the time. Oh, I just don't have time. I'm up here all the time doing my job, doing whatever. It's like, your job is to make your content better, is to make everything so much better. Like, imagine if everything that he's cooking here was made from scratch. The turkey's the only real thing, and everything else is just just slop. Just disgusting slop. And I don't know what he's making here. Maybe somebody out there knows a variation of this dish that is served on Thanksgiving, but I have never heard of beef stew and corn slop as a side dish to go on something. It doesn't make any sense. He literally could make his videos so much better if he actually cooked stuff, dude. If he actually just took some effort and cooked something. But that's too much work for Fatty. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to make, your 9-year-old dog's diarrhea and put that as a side dish.
So, let's just look at it. I do say, it's looking nice and cooked. Nice and cooked indeed.
Literally looks like a alien's brain that's been operated on and cut open. That's what this turkey looks like. And personally, I've never heard of this brown bag recipe thing. I looked it up online. It is a thing that people do. I know that when you do some barbecue cooking, you use like brown paper to wrap things in, and it's supposed to help keep the juices in and give some good flavor. I don't know about brown bag. I know I've always only used aluminum foil to wrap turkeys in, so I don't know. But it looks like the top got charred pretty good. It got a good color. The sides are still pretty plain. And it might just be that he didn't baste it a whole lot. He didn't spread butter around the outside very evenly. I don't know. There's plenty of options, but it's probably cooked through. So that's all that Fatty should really care about. But this just from an outsider's looking in, if aliens were hovering over the planet and they got one shot of one thing and it was this, they would think that we're like cannibalizing some sort of animal.
You're gonna throw in your gravy. Yes, you're gonna throw it in the potato. Okay, once you got it to about warm enough to where you start eating it, now you want to throw in your gravy. You're just gonna plop that in like that. Plop that in there. And you're gonna stir. Probably what you want to go with is something like Velveeta, Kraft. I know it's not the best cheese, but it'll give it a texture. This cheese is not for the flavor, but for the texture it can add to the potatoes. We might even add a second square. Just because we are making kind of a big batch here.
Remember when Fatty just like 5 minutes ago said, hey, you don't want the potatoes runny, you don't want them liquidy, you want them nice and firm. Well, I thought he was, so first off, it's a crime to be mixing in gravy into your dish. The gravy is supposed to be something you pull up on the top, pour over the turkey maybe, you know, dig a little hole in the potatoes and put it in so you get a bite in each bite. This is wrong. I thought he might have done a little drizzle. Of course not. I mean, how dare I think that Fatty was going to show some moderation with when it comes to making food and ingesting things. But this is gross. This is really gross. Also, you can make gravy from the turkey that you just made, dude. You could have, but it's too much effort. It's too much work for Fatty to figure that out. So let's just get a disgusting jar of canned gravy that we're going to pour into our Instant Pot, mashed potatoes, and then put in some Velveeta sliced American cheese. Doesn't that sound like home cooking to all of you? That's gross. I don't even know what the texture talk is. What is he talking about with texture? Trying to get some texture. I mean, that's something that Jason Genova would always say in his food reviews. Oh, the texture is really on point. I don't know what you mean. How is the sliced cheese gonna add texture to it? Maybe it's more of a waxy feel. Maybe that's what he's going for. Everything in there is already processed slop, so whatever. So we get to hear the cat cry in the background. We know that Fatty's probably not feeding her. This is all going inside of his stomach. And I even forgot to say in the last clip, but I'm pretty sure we can tell at this point that the potatoes were trying to talk to us in Morse code when they were in the pot and they were bubbling. They were probably telling us, please don't make me go down this gullet. Please. You know he's going to be sitting on the outhouse shitter for like 4 hours right after this. Please spare me. Save me from this. And that's probably what the cat's also saying. They're both possessed by the same entity. And that's to escape and never return to the Fatty Shack. But hey, you know, the cat wants what the cat wants, but Fatty ain't going to feed her. Probably threw her out on the porch so that he could have peace and quiet while he's eating.
That doesn't smell good. Oh God, it smells, oh my God, it smells like oil and drywall mixed. I tried to swallow it. Oh, I got some on my shirt.
He's literally the biggest fucking baby on earth. It's so aggravating. It's so annoying to listen to him because I don't even like cranberry sauce. I think it's gross. I also think making fresh cranberry sauce is like relatively easy. So I never understand getting the canned version. That's just me though. That's just me. But the canned version, it's like a weird texture. It's a little bit jello-y and it's cranberry and maybe you just aren't into it. But to get up and go and spit it out while also saying, oh, it smells like rubber, it smells like drywall, it smells like toxic chemicals. It's like, dude, do you smell the things? You literally just put an entire jar of processed gravy into processed instant mashed potatoes with Velveeta sliced cheese. And I'm supposed to sit over here and take your response to having the smallest bite of cranberry sauce into consideration? Oh my God. It's so annoying. Why am I getting so bent out of shape about it? It's like you literally only eat meat, cheese, and potatoes. That's like your entire diet. And corn. You love corn. And it's like, how are you so grossed out by the smallest things? And that's always the most confusing part about really fat people is like they just don't like all food. They like 5 things. And they just eat those 5 things into overabundance, and it confuses the hell out of me.
You take a bite of stuffing, potato, and soup at the same time. Absolutely divine. I'll do that again. Hold up. I give it chef's kiss out of 10.
So at least I'm semi-appreciative that Fatty cooked something for once and it wasn't all processed slop. At least we can be semi-appreciative for that. At the same time, how much more of this can we really take? You know, this is probably one of his better dishes that he's made from his Cooking with Fatty series, but it's still not saying much. There's a lot left to be desired. And no matter how many times you can try and say, hey, Fatty, maybe you should actually cook something. Maybe you shouldn't just take a bunch of cans and put them in pots and then just slop them down your gullet. You know, that just will never get received. They'll never hear it. They'll never embrace that solution. And it's disappointing, but what else can we expect? I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.